Meeting to order at 5:34 PM. And I Sure. It's all the workshop. Okay. Maybe have the roll, please, when you get a second.
Good evening and welcome to the September 16th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Open Session Meeting. Commissioners, please stay present if in attendance this evening. Commissioner Morales.
Present.
Commissioner Walker.
Present.
Commissioner Drossik. Commissioner Smith.
Present.
Commissioner Jeans. For the record, Commissioner Jeans is not present. Commissioner Carney. For the record, Commissioner Carney is not present. Vice Chair Krause.
Present.
Chair Marshall.
Present.
For the record, a quorum is present with 6 commissioners in attendance.
Thank you, Kathy.
Welcome.
Now we'll be led by Commissioner Morales in the invocation, followed by Commissioner Krause with the pledge. If you'd please rise and bow your heads.
Join us, please. Precious Heavenly Father, we come before you today to thank you for all our blessings. We ask that you protect and bless our leaders and all those who are here tonight. As we discuss important matters, we ask for your guidance and your wisdom. Help us to make new connections and gain wisdom to do the work you set before us. Let it all be pleasing to you. Father, we give you all the honor and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please join me, okay?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We'll now confirm the meeting agenda items. Commissioners, are there any questions or comments regarding the items tonight? Seeing none, we will approve the meeting agenda items via unanimous consent. We will now open up public comments. I will say if anyone signed up to talk about a specific case, there will be a public hearing specific to that case that you'll have an opportunity to talk about. This particular portion is just for general comments. You can talk about if you would like, entirely up to you all. But if there are public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and city of residence for the record, and please limit those comments to 3 minutes.
Chair Marshall, I will note that Mr. Caleb Longino has indicated in the chat he wants to speak during the conditional use permit item.
Okay.
Well, if anyone else makes that request in the chat, I'll inform you as we go along.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jason. Seeing no other online and no other in person, we'll go ahead and close the public comment section. We'll move on to the consent agenda items. which is item 4, the meetings from our previous workshop and regular session meeting. If there are no objections, commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Morales and a second by Commissioner Krause to approve item 4 on the consent agenda. Commissioners, are there no objection? Seeing no objection, item 4 is approved by unanimous consent. And we'll move to item number 5, receive and discuss a presentation of the Northwest Hills Neighborhood Plan and consider recommending the plan to City Council for adoption. In this case, will be presented by our senior neighborhood planner, Ms. Christina Strickland.
Were there any questions about the Northwest Hills Neighborhood Plan? Is there any items that you would like me to go back through? I'm happy to address any of the slides or any questions that you might have.
I guess my only question is kind of timeline. On that last slide, you kind of had this is project 1, project 2.
Oh, the project. So one of the parts of our process is after adoption, we go in and we rank the capital improvement projects. We use a system that helps rank each one of those items, and then those are in turn ranked into the city's overall capital improvement budget. So some of them may make their way into an upcoming year, some may not make their way into a further year, or they could be triggered by development or something along those lines. So I don't have an exact timeline, unfortunately, to give you at this time. I apologize.
Thank you.
But if I had it my way, it would be tomorrow.
Of course. Commissioners, any other questions? It's a good presentation. Thank you.
Absolutely.
If there aren't any other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
A motion's been made by Commissioner Morales and a second by Commissioner Walker to recommend approval of the Northwest Hills Neighborhood Plan. Kathy, can we have a vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Morales,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Drossik,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith.
I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Does he need to give a reason or just? Vice Chair Krause,
Aye.
Chair Marshall.
Aye.
The vote is 5 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstain. Commissioner Smith abstains. The motion carries.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
That will move on to item number 6, which is FY-24-37-ZC. Hold a public hearing to discuss and recommend action on a rezoning request from Central Area District to Planned Development Central Area District to allow the application of permanent cosmetics as a permitted use addressed as 102 East Central Avenue, located in the city of Temple, Bell County, Texas. This case will be presented by Senior Neighborhood Planner Christina Strickland.
All right, thank you. So I do just want to address that the land address is 102 East Central. This plan development request that's coming before you tonight will be specific to 104 East Central Avenue, Suite 110. During some redevelopment and address changes, that's the difference for the addresses, but this PD will be specific to this land or this address in this suite. So it's coming to you tonight for recommendation, and it'll go to City Council October 3rd for its first reading and final reading October 17th. On your screen is a vicinity map just showing the location of the suite. You can see it is between Adams and 2nd. It's on the corner. It's the old Sears building that's been renovated, and they'll have a corner suite in this plaza. And then on the aerial, you can see that it is all connected as one big building, and it's just a suite within that building. This is their site plan. They're specifically in the green 110. As you can see, there's a bunch of different suite numbers. So this has been changed a few times, but their final address is Suite 110. They have a corner suite with restroom facilities as well as entry and exit. A little bit of background, it is a suite within the main parcel, has been leased to a beauty shop that offers permanent cosmetics as a use. This is an established business that is currently operating in West Temple, and they're just wanting to relocate to a space downtown. Our current UDC does not permit permanent cosmetics within the central area zoning district, but it does allow beauty and barbershops. Staff is currently working on a UDC update that intends to separate the permanent cosmetic and tattooing definition from each other, just to differentiate between the two. So a plan development is a mechanism to allow this use while still maintaining the base zoning. As you can see, the zoning map on the right, everything in this area is central area, and staff does feel like, of course, that should maintain. We're just going to use the plan development mechanism. I did want to show you a general listing of the conditional uses and permitted uses that are permitted in central area, and just calling out specifically the beauty and barbershop is a permitted use. The definition between the tattoo and the cosmetic tattooing, I won't read tattoo to you, but cosmetic tattooing, I did just want to highlight that it is known as permanent makeup, and it does occur in an establishment with licensed personnel applying micropigmentation or intradermal cosmetics to permanently or semi-permanently mimic typical makeup applications such as eyeliner, lip liner, lip color, eyebrow enhancement, and beauty marks, or addressing cosmetic restoration needs for damaged or disfigured skin, restoring it to a more natural appearance. So cosmetic tattooing, while currently under the tattoo definition, it is different in nature. So that's the importance of it here. These are just some photos of the suite. So on the left side is the corner of the suite. So you can see both sides. You can see all the glass windows. Central area does have a requirement that these have to maintain as visible. They can't be completely covered. So this beauty barbershop that allows these uses will be visible to pedestrians and to everybody. And that's just a kind of a central area requirement. So they'll have those nice big windows and all that nice natural lighting. Some surrounding property photos. So this is the first picture going right is a view from the north. The subject property is on the left. You can see the nice big sidewalk. So there will be lots of pedestrian access. To the east are some additional suites as well as the Arcadia building. And then to the southwest is a vacant building. Across the street to the south are the renovated apartments. So again, there would just be an additional opportunity for residents, and this is a supporting use to residents. And then to the west is the Masonic Lodge. And you can see all of this is currently under construction, and they recently just opened Central and Second. So you can drive down it now, and it's really nice and pretty. So some additional background for our plan. So the comp plan, this is downtown core, which is a mix of institutional, retail, and residential uses. And the requested central area plan development is consistent with the future land use plan. Our thoroughfare plan, Central Avenue and Second Street are local streets. So there's no call outs for anything additional, and they're newly renovated. So we don't have any future plans for those. For our trails master plan, Central Avenue has been identified as a future neighborhood connector trail, which calls for an 8-foot sidewalk path. That is happening along Central Avenue. It does vary in sidewalk width just due to right-of-way constraints. And then Second Street is also being reconstructed and has varying sidewalk lengths as well, but both will maintain their ADA accessibility requirements. And this zoning case does fall within our neighborhood, our downtown neighborhood planning district. It's in the city center subdistrict, which promotes and supports vertical mixed uses with a blend of residential, office, and retail, and a personal services shop within walking distance is ideal for neighborhood residents and pedestrians. Excuse me. On our compliance summary, this plan development rezoning request is in compliance with all of our plans. For notification, 16 notices were sent out to property owners within a 200-foot notification buffer. As of today, we have not received any notices in agreement or disagreement, and the newspaper printed notice of the public hearing was on September 5th. For staff recommendations, staff does recommend approval of the rezoning request from Central Area to Central Area PD with the following conditions. One is to allow permanent cosmetics as a permitted use within a beauty shop as an incidental use as defined in the proposed UDC definition. I won't read that to you again. I just want to call out that this use definition is distinct from what is practiced in a tattoo studio, which is defined separately, and as such use this use shall not be subject to the limitations on a tattoo studio set forth in UDC section 5.3.27. The hours of operation are to maintain between Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the applicant must follow all state of Texas Health and Human Services requirements for intradermal cosmetics, and all other central area requirements are to be followed. So those are the list of the plan development conditions that staff has identified as appropriate for this planning, for this rezoning request. And of course, you as the commission are always welcome to recommend additional recommendations or conditions if you feel that that is appropriate. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Sure.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why are the hours of operation limited to not allow them to open any earlier than 10 a.m.?
So that's what their business model was. So we just kept it in line with their business model. And the applicant, I believe, is here. She's welcome to speak. That can be a change. If you prefer for that not to be one of those conditions, by all means, please feel free to make that a recommendation. Just with plan developments, we try to put in different conditions that maybe are appropriate or that make sense. And if we could kind
Yeah,
of.
I was
by
just
the way,
curious. I know beauty and barber shops open 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So I didn't want them to be boxed in by 10 a.m.
Sure, makes sense. Absolutely. Would you like to make that a change or?
Input on that if they're fine with 10. I mean,
You mind? Sorry.
So we do typically open at 10. It's really rare that we come in earlier than that, but I mean,
this would just prevent you from being able to open
those-
any earlier than that.
yeah.
So it doesn't mean you have to open at 10 a.m. It just, if you guys want to do like a fall special or something, or,
Right. Okay, yeah.
you can, it's completely up to.
So maybe like
guys.
8 to 7 might add a little more leniency on that.
Okay.
Don't want you to paint yourself into a corner.
Right.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So. I don't know how that works, Kyle, with okay,
Mind saying your name and address for the record? Or city of residence, sorry.
I
for the
would say
record.
my full address. Amanda Hewling, Temple, Texas.
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda.
Mhm. Am I good?
yes, you're good. Did you have any additional questions for the applicant or?
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No other questions from the commission at this point. This case does require a public hearing. We'll now open up that public hearing, and if you wish to speak and are attending in person, please come to the podium. If you're viewing the meeting online, please virtually raise your hand and please provide your full name and city of residence for the record.
Seeing no hands raised.
Seeing none in person, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And if there aren't any other questions or comments, Commissioner, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve item FY 24 37 ZC with the change that we allow the hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Second.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
Oh, 7 p.m., 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made by Commissioner Smith with a second by Commissioner Morales to recommend approval of item 6 FY 24 37 ZC to City Council with the amended to allow the hours of operations from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Maybe have a vote, please.
Yes. Commissioner Morales.
Aye.
Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Jurassic.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Vice Chair Krause.
Aye.
Chair Marshall.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving to item number 7, which is FY 24 43 ZC. Hold a public hearing to discuss and recommend action on a conditional use permit to allow retail sales of alcohol beverages for off-premise consumption addressed at 1210 East Adams Avenue, located in the city of Temple, Bell County, Texas. This case will be presented by Principal Planner Jason Deckman.
All right, good evening, Chair, Commissioners. This is a conditional use permit for a package store off-premise consumption at 1210 East Adams Avenue. It will go to City Council for first reading on October 3rd and second reading on October 17th. So it is located in East Adams, right across the street from Ferguson Park, as you see in the map here. Your French Avenue is to the north, 24th Street, and Wilson Park kind of to the south and southeast. You know, it's on the east side of the city. And as you see in the aerial photo, there's the existing retail building and the parking area, and then the surrounding homes. So we'll start off with some photos of the existing business. You see it as a combination, both the liquor store and a smoke shop in the suite to the rear. The existing homes on the left and on the right, as you see in the photos, and then the surroundings on East Adams with the park across the street. So they have provided a hand-drawn site plan showing the internal layout as well as the parking area. And off-premise sales of alcohol, it's a package store is what our code calls it. Liquor store is what most folks would, the term most people would use. It is in a general retail zoning, which requires the conditional use permit, which is why we're here. Chapter 4 of the Code of Ordinance lays out distances for protected uses from alcohol sales. None of those uses are within 300 feet. You may ask about the park. That is for on-premise consumption. That is a section of UDC 5.3.15. That's not relevant to the retail sales. The neighborhood planning district. This is in the East Downs neighborhood district. The plan is about 60% complete. They've held a couple public engagements and solicited survey responses, and we've received a number of responses from the neighbors in this process speaking against allowing the alcohol sale. So that neighborhood plan was already in process before this case came to light. So that deserves consideration. There's a history of non-compliance with the code at this property. First and foremost, the reason we're here, they were open for alcohol sales prior to receiving the CUP approval. They do have the state TABC license. They simply did not have the city permit. They had started some interior renovation and had to be told to submit permits. So those permits have been submitted. The work's been completed, were recently approved. And then Friday evening, after we had sent out the packet, the fire marshal did follow up. There were some corrections to an earlier inspection, but those corrections have been made, and the fire inspection was passed on September 13th. And this is located in Temple ISD. As far as traffic analysis, liquor store is not a very high traffic generator compared to other retail uses, given the size. East Adams is a major arterial. As you saw, it's 4 lanes with the center turn, capacity of 20 to 40,000. Current volume to the west is about 11,000, and that's just over the overpass. As you get out here by the loop, it drops to 6,000. So you can assume that the traffic is diverting into the neighborhoods north and south. But for the 150 daily trips that the liquor store would generate, there would be capacity for that. As far as traffic safety, there's been 14 crashes in the area in the last 5 years. There is a crash hotspot at South 24th Street. There's been 1 fatality, 2 serious injuries, and 5 minor injuries. The common factors you see on the screen are pedestrian failing to yield to the vehicle, or the vehicle failing to yield at the stop sign, and then 3 that were under the influence of either drugs or alcohol. We did send out public notification. We sent 15 notices to owners of property within 200 feet. We received 0 notices back in agreement. We received 7 notices representing 8 properties shown on the map here that were returned in disagreement. UDC section 3.3.4 has a requirement when there's a large amount of opposition to a case, it triggers what we call the supermajority. The code says it's a 3/4 requirement. If you do the math with our city council, that means that it would be either 4 or 5, or it'd have to be a unanimous vote for approval. So that requirement has been triggered. 34.52% of the area within the notification boundaries, you see here, that red oval. That's the area of disagreement. And the newspaper printed notice of the public hearing on September 5th, 2024, in accordance with state law and local ordinance. And I believe we may have received some other, Kathy, did we get some other notices tonight? Okay, yeah, there was a couple that came in after the packet was public. I handed those out. And I'll say if there's anyone here that has not returned their notice, by all means, please get that to us as soon as possible so that that can be incorporated into the council report. So our code requires evaluation for certain criteria for any conditional use permit. Those are shown on your screen. And the general idea is that we're looking to identify whether or not the proposed use would be incompatible with the surroundings or contrary to the health, safety, and general welfare, or detrimental or offensive to the neighborhood. And UDC 3.5.5 allows P&Z and council to impose, P&Z to recommend and council to impose additional conditions to the approval. And there's a site plan which we showed you that accompanies the ordinance. There's a detailed explanation in your report, but is it compatible with the neighboring property? The general retail, yes, it's an arterial street. The consensus that we've heard from the neighbors in both the neighborhood plan and the property owner responses is it's not compatible. So we marked that one as a partial. It would not impede normal development. It has adequate utilities, access, and drainage. The site has been developed. Safe, convenient movement of traffic. It's not a high traffic generator. Odor fumes, dust, noise, and vibration. The dumpster location on the front could release odor, so we've marked that one as a no. Directional lighting, they have illuminated signs on the front and side of the building. So that is marked as no. UDC 5.3.17 also restricts the use of window signs for alcohol for a package store. So that category is a no. And then sufficient landscaping and screening. There is landscaping installed. You saw in the photo, the front of the building, there's a flower bed. But the UDC also requires screening between residential and non-residential uses. And you saw in the photo, there's no fence. The applicant is made aware of that requirement to install a fence between the business and the homes. So we've evaluated that one as partially compliant. It is a conditional use permit, so staff has put together a list of recommended conditions, demonstrated compliance with the building and fire safety codes, compliance with Chapter 4, and compliance with UDC Section 5.3.17, which is specific to liquor stores, that the store hours are limited to Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., closed on Sundays and holidays. For example, Christmas. If Christmas falls on a Sunday, then the store would also be required to be closed on a Monday. The full verbiage of this is in the staff report, and this is pulled directly from TABC regulations for liquor stores. We wanted to mirror the state and city requirements as closely as possible. That the site plan attaches Exhibit A is subject to review and approval by the Director of Planning. Any significant changes related to sales of alcohol beverages on this property will require additional review and approval by council. So that said, staff's recommendation as follows. Based on the negative feedback received through the surveys and stakeholder engagement during the neighborhood planning process, the recommended or the requested conditional use permit would be in conflict with the East Downs neighborhood plan, and therefore staff does not recommend approval of the requested conditional use permit. And I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Jason. Commissioners, any questions?
For that chart again regarding the numbers.
Certainly.
The next one you just had, that one,
Traffic.
safety analysis.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. It's right across the street from the park from,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be sure I have it in my mind. Okay.
Yeah, the site photo, the photo you see here at the top was taken standing in the driveway of the retail site.
And to be clear, with the large majority of opposition coming in from the neighboring property owners, this would require a unanimous vote.
It would require 4 out of 5
4 out
or
of 5.
5 of 5. If the supermajority was not triggered, it could be recommended and approved by council with 3 yes votes. This would require 4 or 5. Just at council. Yeah, there's not a P and Z supermajority.
Our recommendation either way will carry.
Yes, sir.
But to be totally clear in my mind, they received TABC approval, proceeded with the operation of remodeling and all of this sort of stuff, had it ready to go, but they failed to come to the city.
So there's a bit of a backstory. The applicant, Mr. Khan, who is here tonight, you may ask him some questions. Had a store at the corner of Central and MLK. Sold that property. The city purchased his property, and he stated that he's got a new site. He's going to move there. And he was instructed to, get in touch with planning, that he would need to apply for the same conditional use permit that he had received for the first liquor store. And that one was also called Sam's Liquor. Moved to the building, started the renovations at, the term was, at his risk. He started the renovations in the building without having the approved permit. Code compliance discovered that he was selling alcohol. He had the state permit, but not the city. So that's when it came to light that he was then given the instruction, you need to apply for the permit. So that brings us up to where we are today.
That was my understanding. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
For the conditional use permit, I understand what you just explained. Is it the similar explanation on the construction side for renovations, that we're buying your property, I'm relocating, but you need to pull permits for your renovation, but that was just completely disregarded?
He did not apply for permits.
Like to come to the front? And if you wouldn't mind stating your name and city of residence, please.
Yes, thank you so much for everybody. My name is Shahid Ali Khan. So the story, when I have the store in East Central, City of Temple bought the property, and I talked to everybody. I'm moving to the side. They said, yes, is a general retail property. So I apply all my permit. I went to the newspaper with the TABC rules and regulation. I came to the city office, this downstore building, the city attorney, city clerk, and the newspaper. I apply everywhere. I put the affidavit of the city newspaper because there's the rules and regulation. If you want to open new location, approved location, you put this affidavit of the newspaper. Then city secretary signed my application, and city clerk over there, the Belton office, they sign and stamp, and I paid the fees. Then apply for the new location approval to the TABC, Belton, and Texas, Austin, and Texas controller. Everybody approved me. They sent me all letters only. So after that, I came back again to city for the final permission to open the liquor store. They told me go to the fire marshal and apply for that, the liquor store. So fire marshal, I went to the fire marshal with the application. They came to my liquor store and they check all inspection. They approved me. And then they said, you can open the store only. Store was like 2 months old. After approval, the fire marshal, the city and the downstairs, they said, yes, I opened my store. I don't know that about the conditional use permit, but I got all permission with the affidavit of the newspaper, city secretary, TABC, and state license. Then they came to the city officer, came to my store. They said, you have, everything is okay, but you need to follow the rules and regulation, but the electric violation some and cooler. So after apply the permit, approved permit, fire marshal came back. They checked, they said you passed, but wait for the city conditional use permit. So they closed my store like almost 1.5 months. I follow the rules and regulations. Store is till closed. So that's I'm here only, but is my not mistake only for the CUP conditional use. Sony told me we apply the same day like last 1.5 months ago. I was thinking the TABC in Belton and the city secretary and the city clerk and the license for the state. That's enough for before too, because we run the store in the liquor store in 315. So soon the officer told me conditional use permit. I said, yes, sir, I follow the rules. They closed my store. I said, yes, sir, we don't want to open the store till whenever the decision only. So I'm here, so really helped me because I have 3 kids in my college in UT Austin. I'm not single father. So I run my store. This is a very small store only. My maximum client in the weekend, 70 to 80, not 100 plus only. And we open 10 a.m., follow the rules, follow the time and close 9 p.m. City told me that you can open as a grocery store. Grocery store mean open 6 a.m. to close midnight is more traffic and more bad. Liquor store 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. follow very strict the rules and regulations. Sunday completely closed. And this is a nice and clean property. A little bit more clean the property, more renovate the property. And I live this side almost like 15, 16 years. I have no problem with this. No drugs, no homeless people, no walking clients, really good people. They're not buying like every day coming, buying liquor. That is a package store, small package store only. We sell little bit liquor, suitable beer, and then grocery, breads, eggs, and milks, and some more like chips only. But that's not the biggest liquor store. It's very small store only. Mr. Jason and Mr. Brad, they already came 3 or 4 times. This is a small store, very small quantity, not like big liquor store only, and very small smoke shop. We have like very small revenue. So this is the truth only, which I'm telling you. That's very true, sir.
We appreciate that. My question for you, Ago, specifically is when did you actually open up the store the first time? When you relocated?
Okay, the old location is almost like 2 years, and then we City of Temple bought the property. I request to Miss Christina, is it possible because I tried to move my other location, I own the property, and she said, yes, this is the general retail shop only, you can open the store only. And then I sent my application here and the TABC and the state. 3 months I wait, I never opened the store because I follow the rules only. I have all my inventory, but never opened the store. After 3 months, state and newspaper in here and city, they approve my location. Yes, you approved. I have this everything paperwork you approved. And we opened after 1.5 months, Mr. Brad and Mr. Jason, city officers. I respect everybody. They came, they let me know this conditional use permit and closed my store. I said, yes, sir. I never opened the store. They came 2-3 times, fire inspector and the city inspector. They check all my other, which one I have the like some hanging extension wire and something. I follow the rules, a permit, apply the permit, and it passed all my inspections. Now I have applied for the fence, both sides the fence only for my neighbors. Both neighbors is good, my neighbors, only one neighbor is already here. Another neighbor maybe is on the online too. So I promised to the city officers, sir, soon, today and tomorrow, we build the fence and then follow the rules, whatever you want, say that, please.
When did you open up?
Like three or 4 months ago, sir. Yes, sir.
3 or 4 months ago.
Yes, sir. We just ran 1.5 months, almost like maybe
So-
2 months, maybe.
And we got the fire marshal approval this past Friday?
Yes, sir. And before they passed me too. The first time when 4 months ago, they came, they checked everything, they passed me only the sign, exit sign. So next day I changed the exit sign, new sign, and he came back, he said, good, you good. And then after that, I put the extension wire for my camera. City officer came, he said, no, this is no good. I said, yes, sir, I'm doing. I take the extension, then cooler. So I called the electrical and the air conditioning company. They came back, they fixed everything with the city rules and codes. And then inspector came and fire marshal came, they checked everything, took the picture, they said, you passed. So now you're waiting for the city meeting. So this is my request and begging. It's a very small store. It's not the biggest liquor store, only it's package store basically. It's not the biggest, we never sell anything illegal. I'm very obey the rules and regulations, sir. I live in the city for 15 years. I love the city, sir.
We understand that.
Yes,
It's, regardless of how the commission
Yes.
votes tonight, which of course, as Jason iterated a second ago, we're just a
Yes.
recommendation board. That final authority is with council.
Yes, sir.
It's a matter of procedure on this one. And I'll be honest, for right now, at least in my opinion, to operate for 3 or 4 months without state approvals as far as fire marshal concerns and that type of stuff, that coming in last Friday, that's gross negligence in my opinion.
Yes.
Again, like I said, not, does anybody else have a question for the applicant right now? I wanted to kind of get a better understanding of your timeline as far as when you operated this, that, and the other versus the dates within which you were provided the, approvals to operate.
Yes.
You'll have any other questions?
And I have one, my worker, Susan, she worked with me. So now she don't have no job. And then Jessica, she just started and then we just quit. So we are basically 3 people. And then I have 2 kids in UT Austin. So this is all our request only, yes.
I completely understand that.
Yes. And I follow the
I've got
whole
young
rules and
kids
everything.
myself, and
Yes.
hopefully I can pay for them to go to UT Austin one
Yes,
day.
yes.
Although I'm an Aggie, I'll be honest with you.
The both are Longhorn, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I fully understand you're trying to operate a business, you're a local business owner, that kind of stuff, 100% understand that. I just want to make a point of emphasis that there's a procedure to take place and that
Yes.
wasn't followed, and
I
it's hard to not be hamstrung on this dais right now
Mm.
when that's not followed.
Yes. Only one question, sir. They said you can open the grocery store. It's the same thing I can sell the beer and open 6 AM or 7 AM to close midnight. So I follow the rules, 10 AM to 9 PM. I never ever open early. I close 9 PM sharp, close the door. Nobody have complained, never sell anything like minors. We follow the whole rule is very strict, sir. And it's very small store, sir. Basically, the package store. We're selling mostly breads, milk, eggs, beer too, and some grocery too, and liquor too, yes, sir. But thank you so much, sir.
I have one question.
Yes.
There is a concern regarding the neighborhood
Yes.
and the location. Have you considered another location?
Basically, all neighbors, only one neighbor is already here. If he have a complaint, he can let the truth only. And my other neighbors, they all happy. They came, they say, thanks God, because they're buying drinks, Coke, Sprite, and sometimes they're buying lottery too, which one we have already. And mostly my neighbors, they never buy like a lot of liquor only. This neighbors, he never buy liquor to my store. He just come once a week and just buy the cigarette only. And they all happy. So then sell soda, Pepsi, Sprite, something too. This is the most I sell. Yes, sir, and chips. But no under mine. And 21 year less, nobody come to my store. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Marshall, if I may, I have an extra slide that it's relevant to some of your questions and to the statements that Mr. Khan made. So this is some of the responses and a summary from the East Downs Neighborhood Plan. And there was one comment directly addressing the city allowing the liquor store open across from the park. Some of the weaknesses that folks from the neighborhood identified is there was 5 responses that said there's a need for a grocery store. And there were 16 responses of various, wording, what business or service is missing from the area. A grocery store, a retail, a little dollar store, or a convenience store. Somebody mentioned 7-Eleven. Other comments mentioned that Walmart neighborhood market that they've been launching. Mr. Khan made the statement that he does sell groceries. That's allowed in the general retail zoning. The beer and wine can be sold at retail sales for off-premise consumption in the general retail zoning without the conditional use permit. So the conditional use permit that's requested is sales of all alcohol. So we're talking hard liquor and everything on down. So it may be a nuance, but it's worth bringing up. Yes,
The
sir.
rest of the community, but it seems to be a little bit in contradiction to the feedback we've had to this particular case. Okay, thank you, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate your time coming up.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
If there aren't any other comments or questions for Jason at this time, this case does require a public hearing. Everyone that has signed in, I'll just kind of start at one page and go to the next to read your turn. If I mispronounce or have trouble with your name, I apologize. But this case does require a public hearing. We'll open up that public hearing, and if you wish to speak and are attending in person, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. If you're viewing the meeting online, which I know that we have one on hold, Jason, for online, please.
Right
raise
now,
your
he's still the
hand.
only one that I'm seeing online is Miss Longino.
Again, state your full name and city of residence for the record, and we will limit your time to 3 minutes. And so the first person to sign in is Angie McQuiston. Would you like to come up?
Hello, I'm Angie McQuiston, lifetime Temple resident. Are y'all timing me?
I am. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if I need to start my phone.
I'll do this when you have like 15
Got it.
seconds.
It's on the screen.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, even
Okay,
better.
my countdown clock's already running. First, I wanted to thank this committee for giving us opportunity to voice our concerns and have our voices heard. And when they were asking for people to come up and talk, I was going to chicken out. My husband gave me a look, and I knew he's been hearing me complain about this, so I might as well let people who can help with the solution hear about it. So I feel that the presence of this establishment presents a threat to the safety of the residents surrounding it, and there's numerous data points. All I had to do is a Google search. I'm not a big, investigative reporter, but it does have correlations between off-premises liquor stores and a rise in crime in the community, specifically around property damage and violent crime. And then also, just for, people coming through, because Adams is a pretty major road, so there's a lot of traffic coming by. And then we also have a lot of people that come to the fields near the Wilson Rec Complex and the Ferguson Park. And so there's a lot of people passing by, and the presence of this establishment gives our neighborhood the sense of being a neighborhood in decline, which it is not. And I know that because I live there, and my neighbors know that because we work hard to keep our side of town looking nice. But I have friends that bring their kids over to play sports, and they're like, oh, saw what went in next to your house. So I know that the citizens of East Downs know that our side of town can be revitalized and it can be resilient. And I know the city knows that too, because the city has been doing the meetings to say, what do you need and how can we make this better? And I've seen some revitalization plans come through the past few years since we've been over on the east side, showing how they want to improve, like put in some small first home housing and put in some put in that little road by the Ferguson Park and make some improvements. And I just don't feel that the presence of this establishment functioning as a liquor store in a location that is 75% surrounded by residential homes and the other 25% is the public amenity space is conducive to the plan that the citizens for East Downs have, and hopefully that the city has for the area as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Paul Fitzgerald.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Fitzgerald. I live immediately next door to the business in question. I've lived there for the past 17, 18 years. And before we had a barbershop there, we had a church there. And with the barbershop being there, the barbershop opened up at 7 in the morning. But at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, there would be people parked out in the parking lot playing loud music all morning. So we would be up 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And as Sam stated, he opens at 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock, closes at 9, which is a lot better for us living right next door to it. Because I know from at least to 10 o'clock in the morning, there's nothing going on over there. And from 10 to 9 at night, I'm basically outside all day. So, really having that liquor store there, it doesn't bother me as much as if we had another business there that was open earlier in the morning and closed later at night. That would be worse on me by living, directly next door to it. I have no problem with the liquor store being there. And I worked with Sam for about 15 years. I know what kind of person he is. And so I'm here to stand up and just kind of give my input on it. And I mean, makes me no different one way or the other, but I guess I would go for the liquor store being there. Wouldn't bother me. And he's gonna put a fence up, he said, so that's even better, So with that, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. All right, this other sheet, it didn't have the case number on it, but I'm assuming everyone's speaking on this case. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. Next up is Amy Beck.
Thank you, Commission. I am Amy Beck. I am a resident of Belton. So I own 3 pieces of property on the street, East Barton Avenue. So one of them received this guide and the others are just to the left and to the right. I purchased those in 2021 and I purchased them with existing leases with tenants in place. In the summer of 2022, my property was raided by the SWAT team and the police used the battering ram to beat down my front door. They pushed through my windows. And when that didn't work, they used gas to get my tenant out. I did not know that I had a tenant that was involved in drugs or was a restricted person because I had purchased the home with an existing tenant in it. But I participated in the city's rental reinvestment program and I put $20,000 to repair that particular house. And I am looking to continue upgrading the houses on that street. I want them to be safe. I want them to be a place where I can be proud to put community members. I turned that specific house as a member of their rental reinvestment program into a home that would accept a USDA or a HUD resident. And as part of the lease that I had made with her and with the other tenants in place, I required them to be crime-free. So one of the portions of my lease says that if police are called to the resident as a matter of public disturbance, or if there's a challenge, that we have the option to evict them based on that. And I've been a landlord for 8 years and I have evicted multiple people over the years for crime-related activities. I'm trying to clean this street up. I have multiple times met with community members. I try to keep tabs on it. I don't live on the street specifically, but it matters to me deeply that we keep this as crime-free as possible. And I don't think that a liquor store is a great addition to a residential neighborhood. I don't find it to be uplifting or of value to the residents living in that tiny pocket. I do understand needing to make money. There's nothing worse than buying an investment, putting money into it and having a business plan and then finding out that it doesn't work. But just like the house that I had, that the door was pushed through and the window worked, it was because that was an at risk. I bought the property not necessarily knowing all of the variables, but it's my duty to make sure that I did a good job on that. It's my duty to be a good citizen. And the best way that I know how to do that is to keep it crime-free. I will say also that a lot of these homes were built in the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s on that specific street. They're older homes. They don't have the same security and features that maybe homes that are built in the last 20 and 30 years are. I don't want this area to be more vulnerable than it already is. The doors and the windows are not the same high quality. There's not the security that there could be. And I worry for the residents when you have increased crime, when you have additional alcohol or drugs. I know he's not selling drugs. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm worried. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir, your question? Did you sign in? That's okay. When we get through the sign-in list, then you'll have an opportunity to come up. Yes, sir. All right, the next one, the Sherwoods, one of the represent. Decline comment, okay. Jessica? Is it Jessica? Last son, Jessica's son? Unless I'm just completely misreading your name, I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm sorry for this next one. Who signed in first on one of the sheets? Oh, is that you? Do you want to come back up and say anything else or? Yeah, please, please come up.
Chair, reminder, we do have one gentleman online.
Of course. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jason.
So again, my name is Shahid Ali Khan, Sam Liquor Store. I respect my neighbors. These neighbors, they are very right. Because everybody want a neat and clean neighborhood, nice neighborhood, peaceful, like peacefully neighborhood too. I try my best, this liquor store, not create any problem. This liquor store is old building. If you see the windows, my neighborhoods, I never see like 20 years, nobody broke the windows. Even the store is closed like 5 years, 4 years. But still nobody crime, nobody broke the window. I mean, this is not lying to you, everybody knows. This neighborhood was a neighborhood, nobody broke the doors, but maybe it's everywhere. Bad people is everywhere. We try to like keep away from the bad people. She's right. She wanna like really good because she invests the money only. I invest the money. They people right because this good neighborhood, they want kids to place like really relax and good too. So in the park, some people, family come to my store. A lot of people, park families, they walk to my store and you believe or not believe, I give water bottle all free. All day water bottle free for the kids. Not kids allowed, like 21 years old, they can come grab the water free. My both worker, I told anybody come walk to park, water is free for anybody. She told me, why you want to charge? I said, that's okay, it's 10 cent cost. We said like 20, 30 bottles a day, no problem only. This is I'm really like parents come to my store. Kids playing in the park and they come to my store too and they like it. They're not buying no liquor, no beer, but they're just buying a little bit soda only and they appreciate me. So I respect my neighbors, always respect my neighbors. They're right, she right. But I never see any drugs and crime. My store, this property is closed for 3 years. Nobody opened the property. There's a lot of things inside. Nobody broke the window, back and front. Nobody broke anything. Neighbor, nobody break anything. But she right because she invests a lot of money over there too. So maybe she got bad tenant. So hopefully God bless everybody. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, Jason, do we want to let our virtual attendee speak?
Mr. Longino, feel free to unmute and you may address the commission.
Good deal. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right, good evening, everybody, city staff members, commissioners. I'm glad y'all took the time to hear this case this evening. I'm coming to you tonight as a resident of the East Downs neighborhood. I highly suggest flat out denial of the recommendation to city council on this conditional use permit. As previously stated by many of the other members, we know that this liquor store is a draw for crime, but it is also a draw for homelessness. Over the past several months, we have had a large uptick in the homeless population in our neighborhood, and this liquor store would do nothing but further the commitment to drag the homeless people into our neighborhood and cause further destruction and property value decline. I also strongly disagree with the fact that this is right across the street from a public park. I do have kids that live in the neighborhood, and I would like a liquor store nowhere near where my children go to play. This is not a good use of this piece of property. I understand that he is able to open a grocery store and to run a grocery store that sells beer and wine. I don't agree with that, but the rules are the rules. Flat out allowing a liquor store in a residential area that only has general retail along the main feeder of Adams just does not make sense to us as a neighborhood. It's something that nobody wishes on the neighborhood. It's very much so a neighborhood that is on the up and up. I've built a few new houses in the area. There are several remodels coming in. I've remodeled a couple of houses, and we want to attract the right people to this area, not just to the East Downs neighborhood, but to the entire east side of Temple. We do take great pride in our neighborhood and hope to be able to continue to do so, but the city allowing businesses like this to enter and degrade our property and the east side of Temple is something that we shouldn't allow to happen. Now, this is absolutely nothing against Mr. Khan. I understand as a businessman what he is trying to accomplish, and he has every right to do so. But I do not feel that this area is the right place for a liquor store. So I would greatly appreciate your flat out denial with no further conditions, no further recommendations, the denial of the conditional use permit labeled as FY 2443ZC to the city council. I appreciate y'all's time this evening.
Thank you. Sure.
Yes, I understand how everybody feels and everything, but there's always a flip side.
Real quick, name and address, please.
Lewis Roberts and 3010 East Adams Avenue, which is down towards the loop in 53. And I'm being on foot and I have to walk everywhere, which is a pretty good little walk. You know, my grandfather, when I was a kid, he used to always talk about, Mama, I need some of my medicine. And he was referring to liquor. He never called it whiskey or liquor. And I used to say, well, he's just hiding the fact that he's alcoholic. But not so. It actually is medicine, you know, to some certain people. And I'm not only speaking for myself, but there's others like me too that walk. And I mean, I drink me a shot of liquor with my back the way it is, the pain goes away. And I can, you know, just the walk itself kills me. And like I said, there's a flip side to every coin. And for me personally, he runs a tight ship that I can see. But I tell you what, it's a godsend to me when my back's hurting and I walk to the store and can't make it back. I get me some whiskey and kills the pain. But I just thought that I'd say there's a flip side to every coin, you know. But appreciate you letting me voice my opinion.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak on this item?
I'm not seeing any new hands raised. Tim? Yep.
My name is Michael McQuiston. I live at 1304 East Adams. That is 2 houses down from the liquor store. And I just want to say that we are definitely not against you as a person. It's the fact that we have such a beautiful community that is being restored. And we just don't want to see the decline. We just don't want to see we know what can happen with the liquor store. So is there any way you could open up without being a liquor store? That's my question for you. And is there any way you could paint it a different color? We're willing to work with you because, I mean, you've been a resident of Temple for a while, right? What, you say 17, 18 years? Okay. So just some things to throw out that maybe you could ponder, you know, maybe just be a grocery store and paint it maybe a white or brown or something. The bright yellow is very unattractive, very, very unattractive. So, but I know why you did it. I've owned my own businesses. I mean, yeah, it attracts attention, but people who are looking for liquor or alcohol, they're going to find it anyways. So it doesn't have to be that bright. But once again, we really don't want the alcohol, like the liquor. It just is not good for our neighborhood. Thank you.
Other requested to talk during the public hearing, we will go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. Commissioners, do you have any further questions or comments for? No, I will entertain a motion. I do have a question, actually. I'm sorry. And this is for Kyle. The city's recommendation is to disapprove. So we are recommending. I got this backwards once. We are also just recommending to disapprove or to approve, not the opposite of what the city's request is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not approving the city's disapproval.
You are making a recommendation to the city council on your own. The city staff has their recommendation, but then you guys either recommend to approve, disapprove, or approve with conditions.
Thank you. All right, sorry. Got my own way there, but if anyone has any questions, otherwise I'll entertain a motion. If there's no more
Motion.
questions, I'll entertain a motion.
If I get it right. I make a motion that we deny the request for FY 24-43 ZC.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made by Commissioner Morales and a second by Commissioner Smith to recommend approval or disapproval of to recommend disapproval of item FY 24-43 ZC to City Council. May we have a vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Morales,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker,
Uh,
Commissioner Jurassic,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Vice Chair Krause,
Aye.
Chair Marshall.
I'll say this before I cast my vote, although the eyes on this one seem to have it. It's not the fact that you're trying to operate a business, in my opinion. It's a procedural thing. It's the steps you had to take prior to opening shop that weren't done. That's the problem. And we have the code and, there's no one-time free card in that regard, because then everyone gets a one-time free card. And then what's the point of having the code? So with that, I'm going to vote aye for disapproval on the procedural basis.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries to deny.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
With that, we'll move to item number 8, which is
Chair
FY
Marshall, I'm sorry for the interruption. Just for the folks in attendance, this was the P and Z's recommendation to the council to deny, so there will be another public hearing where council will discuss it. They can hear your concerns or there was a couple that spoke in favor. That first reading public hearing will be on October 3rd. Same right here.
Thank you, Jason. I
Thank you,
should
sir.
have mentioned that too. Yes, the city council has the actual authority on the vote. We're just a recommendation board. All right, moving to item number 8, FY 24-44 ZC. Hold a public hearing to discuss and recommend action on a city initiated rezoning request from light industrial to single family attached to on 0.75 acres addressed as 302 and 304 North 12th and 513 and 515 East Downs, located in the city of Temple, Bell County, Texas. And this case will be presented by Senior Neighborhood Planner Christina Strickland.
Good evening, council. Okay, so this is the last zoning case. It's coming to you tonight and it'll go to city council on October 3rd for its first reading and second reading on October 17th. This is for 4 addresses. This is a city initiated rezoning. A little bit of background is this covers about 3/4 of an acre. The request is from light industrial to single family attached to. I do want to note in here, it's important to know that a detached single family house can be built in SFA2. The request covers 4 existing residents. The catalyst for the city initiated rezoning, for staff to review it, as Director Brian Chandler mentioned earlier, 302 North 12th Street was approved for the HARP program, which will rebuild homes for individuals of low income that are awarded the grant money. The requirement is that they're built in the same spot unless there are extenuating circumstances that make it impossible or basically impossible to rebuild in the same area. This particular one requires a rezoning in order to do that. But it did take staff, we looked at it as a whole picture, and this whole half a block is all zoned as light industrial, and each parcel has a single family house on it. These houses per Belcad have been in existence since 1905, and the industrial is a prevalent use in the area and also has a long history. So what came first, the zoning or the house, likely the houses came first, but the light industrial makes it impossible for these homes to be rebuilt or reconstructed after a 50% demolition per our code, because no residential structures are permitted in light industrial. So we did feel that it was appropriate to look at the whole half a block for a city initiated rezoning. This was taken to our development review committee, and no issues were identified on August 30th. So the zoning map, it is kind of a blend of zoning in this area. The proposed SFA2 it provides for residential reconstruction where residential is currently existing along 12th Street, East Downs, and Calhoun. The property is appropriate for residential, and it has a low impact on traffic it's a low traffic generator. Sorry, it is very much a Monday. As you can see on the screen, this area is light industrial. It is neighboring some multifamily too, a little bit of central area, and then off in the distance is some two family. So there's quite a bit of patchwork zoning in this area, but SFA2 does marry up closely to multifamily too, and provide some residential zones in the area. The future development plan is downtown transitional, which is intended for higher density and intensity uses that are found in the downtown core, abutting to some of the urban residential areas. So the future development plan recommends housing types such as townhouses, urban lofts with an urban character. And the zoning district that supports the plan recommendation, it does include townhouse and single family attached. So we are recommending a zoning district that is in line with the future development plan. Also, for the neighborhood plan, this is in the downtown neighborhood planning district. It's in the North End sub-district of the downtown neighborhood district. The parcels that are located or indicated in yellow, in the yellow area, promote a single family presence with residential infill. As you can see, residential housing types in the residential area should focus on single family or residential mixed use employment area. So this rezoning request is in line with the neighborhood planning district as well. Some of the site photos on the upper left-hand corner is the Catalyst property, if you will. This home is in complete disrepair and cannot be repaired to make it livable. The individual that owns the home is not living here at the moment because it's unsafe structure. And then on the bottom of the screen is the Catalyst home, and then also a neighboring home as well. And then on the right-hand side along East Downs are the other two properties that would be rezoned if this is approved. So all four of these properties would be able to be reconstructed or rebuilt as residential homes as they stand right now. To the north is a vacant parcel along East Downs Avenue. It does have the opportunity to be residential and is surrounded by residential homes at the moment. To the south is the City of Temple building that is owned by Transform Temple. They use it for various Transform Temple operations. That's located on 12th and Calhoun. And then to the east are the light industrial uses. It's the Jack Hilliard Distributing Company. And you can see their pictures are here. They take up pretty much that entire other side of the block. And then to the west are single-family residential uses that are zoned as two-family. So you can see the surrounding area is all predominantly single-family. There is existing water and sewer. Wastewater is available via an 8-inch sewer line in the alley between 10th and 12th, and water is available through a 6-inch water line on Calhoun. For the thoroughfare plan and trails plan, no changes have been identified to the area. All 3 streets are local roads and no changes are proposed. So just a little bit of a difference, a comparison chart for what's permitted in light industrial versus single family attached to. On the left-hand side, you can see there is quite a handful of uses that are permitted, everything from agricultural to commercial uses, office and industrial uses, all the way down to vehicle services. So any one of those businesses or business existing types could, at the moment, move into any one of those parcels and start production, which may not be appropriate with the existing neighboring residential. So the single family attached just promotes a single family residence, whether it be detached or attached, a place of worship, a park, or a playground. And then on a limited basis is a family or group home. I've also listed the dimensional standards for non-residential for light industrial. We have pretty standard setbacks, 3-story building height, but that is also to say that a light industrial use could move in and have a 3-story building height neighboring single-family residential. Ooh. And then for the proposed single-family residential, the minimum lot size is 3,000 square feet. And it minimum width and depth is 30 by 100, and all of these lots do meet those dimensions. And then they are limited to 2.5 stories. For notifications, 13 notices were sent out to property owners within a 200-foot notification boundary. 1 notice was returned in agreement, which is marked on your screen by the green A. No notices were returned in disagreement. And the newspaper printed notice of the public hearing was done so on September 5th. For our compliance summary, all of those are yes. We do feel that this rezoning request is in compliance with all of our future plans and the neighborhood plan. And staff does recommend approval of the rezoning from light industrial to single family attached to. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. You're welcome.
Commission, any questions or comments? This case does require a public hearing, and we will open up that public hearing. If you wish to speak and attending in person, please come to the podium. If you're viewing the meeting online, please virtually raise your hand and please provide your full name and city of residence for the record. Sure,
None online.
tired of hearing that one tonight. Seeing none in person. We'll
None
go ahead and
online.
Close the
Stole Jason's thunder. There's none online.
none online. We'll close the public hearing, and if there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve FY 24-44 ZC as presented by staff.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Walker and a second by Commissioner Smith to recommend approval of item 8 FY 24-44 ZC to City Council for staff recommendation. May we have a vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Morales.
Aye.
Commissioner Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Jurasic.
Aye.
Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Vice Chair Krause.
Aye.
Chair Marshall.
Aye.
The vote is unanimous and the motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Having no further business, we'll conclude at 6:53.
This time with you, Derek.